Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers. I'm your host, Annalise Getz. Today we have my good friend Shagun joining us. Shagun is the host of See It or Skip It,
yes.
of Rotten Tomatoes. He is a restaurant owner in town.
Wow.
And he's an entertainment journalist. You can see him on HLN, CNN, Access Hollywood. Shagun is everywhere.
No, listen, you've made me sound way more important, which thank you.
Shagun is also, as it turns out, the king of downplaying. So when I actually talked to Shagun about being on the show, and we're going to talk about the amazing things that he does, but when I talked about you being on the show with me, you're like, oh, coaching isn't that big of a deal. I don't think people really care about it. This show is all about people making a difference in their community. And I thought, how does he not see that he is impacting all of these lives? Like, you're the king of downplaying what you're doing. So I'm happy that you're here, and I want to elevate you a little bit.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's not so much that I downplay it. It's just that, you know, when you work with kids, it's a huge responsibility, but it works both ways. Like, you have kids, and anyone you would entrust your kids to, that's a big deal. So if you are a coach or a teacher, a principal, a rabbi, a minister, a reverend, whomever, those titles never go away. So whoever your son or daughter's little league coach is, as old as your kid may get, that person's always coach. And so if we give them a title, I think that responsibility, I don't want to pat myself on the back and say, oh, I'm a really good coach, because there are other people that are doing what I do and doing it well. I just try to stay quiet, do a really good job. I only get loud when the bad coaches and the bad stuff happen.
Well, tell me this. Okay, so obviously you have many things on your plate. I think I hustle, and then I look at you and I'm like, no, that dude's a hustler. So I know you're doing a lot. What spoke to you and said, I want to carve out time in my day and my week and my month for these kids to teach basketball? I think a lot of people, they start getting involved when they've got kids, and you didn't wait for that moment and you jumped in early. What were you trying to accomplish? You know, what pulled at you to make you want to do it?
Well, first, for me, everything starts at home. So my mom and dad had us involved in sports, and my dad always believed that discipline would rule your world. If you were disciplined, you could go and do tremendous things. And so,
dude, that's tough.
Well, but
there was discipline in that house.
Discipline in that house. We are, you know, first generation. I'm first generation Nigerian, and so I have a political joke, but we're not going to get into political stuff, not right now. But what I will say is that, so I got to play for some really incredible coaches growing up, and my dad coached me as well. I had an academic scholarship to the University of Houston, and I walked on to the basketball team. I met tremendous people, and one of the people that I was lucky enough to the University of Houston came to California. Kenny actually moved out to California and asked me to be a part of his AAU program, Aim High. And Aim High's sole purpose was to help kids of all walks of life, any ethnicity, economic background. Let's just help them and show them what this basketball thing has done for us. It's allowed me to meet great people and do wonderful things, and also give back what my dad gave to me, which is that discipline that's going to take these kids so far. And so when an NBA champion, they think like, oh my gosh, wow, coach, you're on TV, but they don't realize that the real fun is getting to work with them and just trying to give back that gift that I was given.
I wish more people...
You're going to ask that question? I'm just going to tuck this wire in on you. Cool. Stand by. Let me just refocus. Focus. Oh. Remember that question you're going to ask? Okay. So we're going to take your single shot in a minute.
All good.
And make sure everybody looks good. Go. Kenny Smith would be very unhappy if he saw that. All right, go ahead when you're ready.
I wish more people had that perspective.
Yeah,
I think.
Did we get that, Randall? Is that the way you're going? Okay, go ahead, go for it.
I wish more people had that perspective. Sometimes I look at where we are in society today, and I think that we've been given so many gifts, especially, you know, you and I being in this country, being raised in the circumstance that we were raised in. We've been given so many gifts, and it feels like a lot of people forget to pay it forward, which is kind of what this show is about, trying to elevate people that are. You inherently already feel that way, and you are doing that. And I think it's so amazing, and you're definitely having an impact on these kids. I know it for sure, because I've actually talked to one of them, and someone wants to say thank you for everything that you've done. And if we could watch that clip.
You've got to be kidding me. I've been ambushed. I have been ambushed.
They'll be coming up in a second. This little love when she says, and don't worry, you're going to see me at the WNBA.
Yeah, I feel like I'm about to cry. I got ambushed. That's Izzy. That's Izzy Scribano, and she is just like, she's incredible. I actually coached her older brother, Marco, in high school. And
Marco contacted me.
Oh.
Marco was the one that was like, I would love it if we could do this. She would love to say thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if you could hear it, but both Marco and Izzy were like, we love Shagun so much. And anything that we can do to say thank you for what he's given to us, we want to do it.
That is, you know what's so funny is I saw them yesterday and they didn't tell me anything about this. They didn't mention it at all. And, you know, Izzy is, like, I coach boys primarily, and I work with young men, and I've had young men go on to Division I scholarships and the NBA, but that little girl is just a living treasure. I mean, she is, from where she started, and I will not take all the credit because Marco and other people are pouring as much information as they can into her, but she is the #1 ranked player for her age group in the country. I'm pretty good at what I do. I've never been the #1 person in the country. So to be around greatness like that, and just to, you know, again, for her brother, for it to be all in the family, to have worked with her brother, to work with her, it's a tremendous blessing. So I can't believe you ambushed me. Oh my goodness.
Well, she thinks of you as a tremendous blessing. And I want to hit on one more thing before we take off. You were involved. This is what I think is so fantastic: is you were involved in the Houston Hoops?
Yes, Houston Hoops.
Okay, but what I think this is, and I want to have you talk about it in 1 second, but what I think is so great is not only are you giving back to the Hurricane Harvey victims with the Houston for Hoops, but you're teaching your players to give back too, and you're teaching the importance of empathy, and you're teaching the importance of it's more than just you out there, and you need to pay it forward, and I love that. So can you talk a little bit about what you did, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, well, so as a graduate of the University of Houston, I've seen heavy rains before, but the flooding that happened with Hurricane Harvey, I had been in Houston a couple months before for a talk at the university, and the same places that I had gone to were now under 10 feet of water. And so my idea was, okay, in Hoosiers, Gene Hackman in Hoosiers, when he's taking his small team to the state finals, he said, you know, measure the hoops. The hoops are 10 feet everywhere. And the beauty of basketball is it doesn't matter if you're playing in America, Australia, Africa, wherever. The baskets are the same height, the court's the same distance. So I wanted our kids at Golden Valley High School in Santa Clarita to realize that there are kids that are playing basketball just like you, a couple states away, that are going through something really tremendous, and how could we give back? So we decided to do Hoops for Houston, and it was just a fundraising charity weekend of selling t-shirts, selling popcorn, selling sodas and hot dogs, and then having schools from different areas in California come and play in this basic showcase, and the proceeds going to Cypress Springs High School in Houston. And we were able to raise money and help them, you know, pay for jerseys, pay for travel, school books, whatever they decide to use the money for. We were just so happy that we were able to do it. I owe it a lot to the head varsity coach at Golden Valley, who's Larry Keys, the principal,
that's the key, is like
and all the administration.
The people that are leaders there are setting the example for the kids, the students, the players, and I think it's fantastic because you're helping it for the next generation too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Shagun, I swear, I look at you and I don't get to see you enough. I feel like, you know, in Hollywood, there are friends and there are real friends. And I look at you as a real friend. And I wish that 90% of our conversations were talking and not texting. But it's so good to see you. And thanks so much for being on the show. And
Thank you for having
so
me.
much for being a game changer in your community.
No, this is wonderful. What you're doing is great. You're giving back, and you're amplifying regular people. I'm a regular person, so you're amplifying regular people, and you're making us look extraordinary. I can't thank you enough for that.
He is extraordinary, you guys. All right, thanks
She's
for
a
joining
star.
us, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
You got
Thank
me.
you.
That video with Izzy. Oh my
Could you
gosh.
hear her? I'll
yes,
send it to you.
Please do.
They
I
were
can hear her a little bit.
Over
She's
the
so,
moon. They were so excited.
You are unreal with your reach. I can't even with you. That is so. She is amazing.
That
at
girl is a
basketball.
little powerhouse. You got to get like Michaela to put her on or something.
I thought about bringing her to the studio one of these days, but just to see some of the stuff that we do. And look, she's beating me to it.
I just took this off. Are you kidding me?
Are you not
I don't know why
changing?
I did that.
You're not
I'm sorry.
changing?
No. Oh, I am changing. That's why. Okay, run, fast.
Oh, it's running. It's running. It's gotta go.
Let's do a quick picture. Can you you do a quick picture of us real fast?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Where would you like us?
just right there. Do it super fast.
Nice. Look at her, she's so amazing.
That's not what I like.
Does it?
Just smile.
How does she know?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I will see you.
And
Call
I'll
me.
be in touch soon, okay, dude?
Thank
Pleasure
you
to
for
meet you.
coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It was
All
good.
right. Good, did you go good? Good?
Felt great.
Good? All right, love y'all.
Have fun until then. Okay, good. Good. I felt like I was the whole like this one and then this one. And you get the cards. Where did your husband go?
She ran out to feed the meter.
Oh, okay. I was like, we lost one. We're man down. All right, I'm gonna go upstairs and change my clothes real fast.
Okay, and I'm just 2 curls away.
Okay. So Cheryl's one that's in the time frame. That's what I'm worried about.
Thing starts with,
Oh, I'm. Get in here.
Theater in, graphic.
Do you know how many seconds you need?
What's that?
How many seconds do you
Just
need?
about that. It's whatever the size of this is. Let's get the video.
This one? No.
Why do
He
you-
used to appear on,
What?
why do you-
Dr. Drew's
Secret. Go.
Yeah. I said, why?
Why?
Oh, got it. We just missed each other at
Hi, welcome to the Everyday Game Changers.
Yeah. And also, you would see the Yeah. Oh my gosh, okay. I look forward to seeing you in there. On these days.
Huh?
Hello there.
Yes, I am. She's in the restroom. She's coming right now. Okay, well, I'm Erin. Nice to meet you. I'm Sergea. Sergea.
Andy.
Nice to meet you.
There she is. Hi.
How are you?
Where's our little baby?
He's with Victor. I'm
Where's
like
Victor?
making it easy, driving around.
Oh,
We're all
you're
passed out in
kidding.
the car. I'm like,
Oh.
keep it going. Yeah. How are you?
Where's Erin? This is Emily.
Hi.
This is Erin.
So nice to meet you.
It's like an 8-week-old bird. No.
Yeah, I do. It's a little
Isn't
crazy.
she a rock star?
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I have a 20-month-old.
You do?
I love your
Wow.
cute, beautiful
It's
smile.
gift to what we've been.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give back that gift that I
This
was
is our
given.
third.
Oh my God.
He's a boy. Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, this.
You have a partner and I like
You look
static
amazing.
playing, which I haven't thought about since the 80s. Remember all those commercials where I was like, the static playing spread?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's
Where do you
Is it
live?
a boy or a girl?
Boy,
Yeah. What's his name? Sam.
I wish little Sam.
We're in the Palisades.
Oh,
How about you?
We're from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I wish more people.
Yeah.
I
Very
do
good.
love it there.
I do. Your area's so different kids. Are you like always in the country more?
Always at
Yeah.
like farmer's market or whatever.
Yeah.
That gift that I was
So
given.
good.
I wish more people had that perspective. We need to stay over there.
Shoot,
Are your kids in school?
Yes. Well, I mean, they're in preschool,
Oh, yeah.
but we're on track for college.
Oh, that's-
Yeah, it's nice. Like, we're right in that neighborhood, but it's made it, it's a good and bad thing. Because, like, we got in at a good time into our house, but now when you're looking at a house with like 5 bedrooms, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You don't want to move out of that district.
No.
Right?
You
You
stay there forever.
Exactly.
Wait, Shaboon is the host.
Methodist?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like across the street from Do you really?
Oh, yeah. And you're gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Callie and my daughter.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a very like chill.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For parents, you know. It's funny. Like a lot of my mom friends send their kids to Circle, and they're like, it's a great school.
They know how to do it. They know how to do it so fast too.
Like we go in, if you're good kids in here, no one cares. You just like say your hellos and go on your way. You know, it's not ultra. You know, I started in on fall. Oh, you are.
Oh, you are?
Oh, nice. So one of my good friends, Sarah Ross, well, her son now is in, he's in kinder, she has a little girl that's gonna have there, over in Olivia. Yeah.
No, maybe in the
Back this morning. The length of this.
Where are you going? Yeah. So people go crazy about it here, you know? Schools. Are they such a thing like that too?
So I still thinking when I did school next when he was 6 weeks old. He did not get into it. We did not get in. And I was like, and they called me and they were like, you might want to start looking at a plan B. I'm like, no, there's no plan B. Like, I want him to go here. Like, I told him every paper I knew. And like, Stephen does this all the time. I told him the elected officials. I called him, you have to be first in my firm. Like, anyone. Everyone that has a kid there in the past. I just got shut down.
Really?
Yeah. So he's fine. It's not like he's like, I gotta my mom. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
I really want
But
to. So it's
amazing.
surprising. I never would have thought that. I was like, this isn't New York, and it's preschool. Like, give me a break.
Our preschools are insane.
I think the only place to go is like, okay,
I
it's
know.
everywhere. Like, I hear that about San Diego. I'm like, shit, we can't even go there. I know.
It's really nuts.
So,
And the guy friends who moved to the valley, because of like the
of course they're
But yeah, they're also like, like they make it like 6 months and they're like, I'm gonna get the drugs back.
yeah. Why?
It's just like traffic and you're isolated, it's hard to hell.
Like, my friend was from Coast. Oh, was Wendy? She lives in Coast. Yeah. And the first time she's like pro valley, she has someone who lives there, whatever. And then she called me, she's like, I can't get over the hill, and my daughter's stuck at Archer, like, can you please go sign her out?
Gosh,
Like,
really?
because
Stressful.
it's so, it took her an hour, and she still isn't okay.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So like, my husband works at San Francisco.
I know.
Every day I'll never see.
I know.
So.
I was like big on
Who was
access for a
telling
while.
she
I'm
can
looking
sit
at all
alive,
that.
like,
no.
She's like, shut up. All right, we're ready to roll? Okay, so you ready to go?
What's wrong with this?
Yes. Okay. You're like, I'm certainly not my husband. I know. We've all been there. Yeah. We've all been there.
We were like, we had the day together. I was like, honey, guess what we're doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're taking off the day of work. Guess what we're doing? Ooh, I didn't get, oh.
I knew I recognized you from CNN.
Is that a part of the dress or is it separate?
Oh, it's separate.
Match.
It really is. It was shocking. I put it on this morning. I was like, it's a little too monochromatic maybe. Is it too?
No,
should it be
no,
too-
it's perfect. I love it.
Thank you.
Do you guys think it's we're gonna having a necklace on this? Is it okay because the neckline? It's fine?
It's fine.
Okay.
From this, should I take it off?
No, it looks good. I keep it on.
Okay. I'll hold still. I just haven't, yeah, I'm not paying a whole lot of attention. I think I am. I will at least stop gesticulating. Fabulous. Okay. Thank you. Looks amazing. I was sitting out there watching it. Everything looks so good.
Isn't this a beautiful studio?
It is extraordinary.
I wish this was my living room.
Truly.
Especially those lights. Those lights are my jam.
Thank you.
Make that lady beautiful. She's got a 7-week-old at home right now. She deserves it.
7 weeks.
right
holy
here, right
moly.
here.
Okay, great.
Then you're gonna face into this camera over there, but you're really gonna
Okay.
be talking to her, but just for framing purposes, that'll be.
Okay, good.
We're gonna test you into that camera.
And how much leg are we seeing? Hopefully none. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay.
I was on with Ariva one time, and back when when they had all the when we were on the stage as opposed to the boxes.
Right.
And she had like her dress had kind of screwed up, and I could see like her spank coming out. I was like, "Oh, girl, watch
Right.
out!
Right. Yes.
The secret's out."
Wait, hold on. Let me move all that kookiness. Do we see any legs? Okay, good. That's blocking that. I'm doing some kooky thing here.
Okay. I guess I hadn't even looked at that.
Yikesy.
That's okay, right? Is that too aggressive?
Did you say aggressive?
Aggressive.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. Yeah, I'm like, if my legs aren't showing, I'm going to sit all kind of kooky ways. Might take off my shoes. Let's see now. Okay, good. Hello. This is so fun.
Hi, we're nice and close, aren't we?
Yep, nice and close. All right, that's one camera
There's the
there.
lights. These fixtures are so fantastic.
Love when she said, and don't. Oh. They were so excited to do that. It was adorable.
Right, or do you need to?
No, you can. All right, so here we go. So we're going to set this camera here. So you're just going to sit back a little bit so you can see how you're like,
Me?
Okay, I'm in the
Me or
shot
Cheryl?
there.
yeah, that's good there.
Okay, good.
And you're going to move a little bit over your head, right, so you get to the middle there.
This way?
Yeah, okay, almost good.
How's that?
Good. You tell me.
think it's
One random piece of hair.
Let's go a little bit lighter this time, just in case it was too intense on the wrinkles.
So intense.
Not too intense. Just kidding. All right, you're back up and running over here.
Andy made me feel like I was an old hag there for a second. She
Sure
was
you
like,
want it
really?
lighter?
You want to have it be that contrast?
Sure you want lighter? Here's the lightness, here's the,
I did something
Let's do
recently
that.
and they cut in so tight. I was like, oh, yeah.
Back that up a
A
second.
little further back from the clavicle. Which is like, whoo.
all right. Rolling the box.
Okay.
Stand by, don't start yet. Just checking around here.
This is fantastic. Such a
It's so
brilliant
fun.
idea.
I love it.
You're not wired yet, so.
Oh, that's right. I felt like I was forgetting something.
Yes, you are here. Go ahead and just drop this all the way down to the bottom if you want to go fast. Or
Down to the bottom of my dress.
If you can, otherwise you can get up and I'll do it.
There's
right back
not a
like
lot of
last time.
leeway in this. Can I just put it behind me? Or, oh, you want to go that way? Okay.
Cheryl. Cheryl. Hunter.
And you put the wrong name.
All right.
That's Rolanda. Up there?
No, that's not.
Oh, okay.
I have Jenna Kravitz and Aaron's mother.
Aaron Ehrenberg is over there, and Jen is not coming in today.
Okay.
But Cheryl should be on the list.
Okay, so how do I spell your name?
Cheryl.
Hunter.
Hunter is my last name.
All right, so you go ahead and leave it there. I'm going to check and see here. Hold
Hunter,
on to this
Cheryl.
and just put it behind you and I'll see if I can see it.
Somebody got my name. Damn it. How does that happen? No.
One of the advantages of having a wonky first name and a wonky last name.
Well, go ahead. Sit down like you're going to sit.
Is that okay?
Nope, but I'm going to tape it.
That is the no mess around kind of tape.
No wires allowed.
Yeah, so I think we were just ships in the night at
Over at
Michaela.
Michaela?
Yeah, because I saw you post something or something came up and I was like, I was just there.
Yeah.
Like I literally walked out the door and she must have walked in.
All right, here we almost.
Are you out? Okay.
Tell me when you're over Kayla.
Okay. Bye, honey.
Hi.
It looks amazing. I know. So beautiful.
This is just. Okay, this just came out taped.
Yes. All right, so get yourself
Okay.
situated here. We're going to roll here.
God, it's hot in these lights.
Final color.
If I start having like sweat and my
getting
eyelash goes
sweat on
sideways, you gotta let me know.
Go ahead, grab your card.
Okay.
Hang on for those. All right, stand by. We're going to start filming. Here we go. Checking the pillows. One last pillow check. Do you like the way the pillows look? You ready?
Okay. Oh, I'm running. Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm your host. Nope, let me start again.
Stand by. Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to Everyday Game Changers. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are joined by Cheryl Hunter. Cheryl, thanks so much for being on the program. It's so good to see you.
Stand by, stand by, stand by.
What's
No, I'm all aware of the pillows. That's what's really doing. Where is it okay?
All right, go for it again.
Okay.
Let me just check your hair. Let's see one here. Let's see. Yeah, just your,
I can step in.
yeah, just her left. I see the static here. And that, leave me, I've heard it.
You can hear here.
It's on her left side, right?
Oh, right here.
These are gorgeous too. It's so great. What a good name.
No one had it yet.
It's
Isn't
like
that crazy?
the antidote to all things
I feel like
normal.
right now in society, it's like
Yes.
everything is bad news and everything is, you know, what happened to like, and I was thinking the other day about like, what makes something news, right? And
Right.
it's like always the depressing stuff. It's never like when someone does something awesome, you know, that never
Yeah.
gets featured. Why not? Like, why can't that be part of the conversation?
Somebody I know always goes, "Oh, were you on the bad news today?
Oh,
Let me know when you're next on the bad news." I was
Yeah.
like, "Yay!" But I started thinking about it. I was like, in some regard, it kind of is the bad news, right?
it is. I never hear anything good when I turn on HLN, CNN, and it's not because nothing good is happening.
Right.
There's plenty of good stuff happening. I feel like I really believe that what you surround yourself with and what you hear like becomes your reality. And we've surrounded ourselves in this country with nothing but depressing bad stuff. Like today I saw two kids got in middle school got killed in LA. There was a shooting in LA middle school. Enough.
I used to do Nancy
How we
Grace
did.
a lot. Some of the stories
Oh,
were
you
so
did?
crazy, and she'd be like, "What do you think of it?" You know, like some
You're like,
case
"It's
that's nothing
bananas.
to do
What do
with
you
it.
mean?"
People
Yeah.
are nuts.
Yeah.
What are you running with that? Yeah.
Do you ever hear from her anymore,
No.
Nancy? I thought she would do something with that platform. She had an insane amount of followers. She had more followers on Facebook than she did viewership on HLN. And she didn't seem to ever do anything with it.
I know she's done a couple of.
Erin Berg, I had her maiden name down there. I'm
Lifetime.
sorry about that. It's Erin Berg. Okay.
Like some Lifetime movies and things she was
Yeah.
producing. Oh, did I mess with it all?
All right,
Yeah, sorry.
here we go. Stand by. Roll, re-roll the box. Start the meeting.
And reroll the screen.
All right, when you're ready.
Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are lucky enough to have Cheryl Hunter with us. Cheryl, thanks for being on the program.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
I love when you're here because whenever I'm with you, whether it's on this type of show or HLN or CNN, I swear you walk in and you just light up the room. You always have that big smile and you just exude the positive energy. So thanks
Thank
so much
you.
for bringing that onto our show.
It's my honor. Thank
And
you.
we are lucky to have you. I know especially because it was a very busy day for you and a lot of scheduling. And I think we even have your husband here too. So you brought him in tow and you got to parlay the makeup day and do a nice date night tonight, right?
Exactly.
I always try to do
My hair
that.
and makeup are done. What a chipped from normal.
Right, we never look like this. You know, this is not like walk out of bed like this. And whenever I do a TV thing, I'm always like, "Hey, Andy, my husband. Hey, Andy, do you want to do a date night or something?" I'm like, "I'm on point tonight. Let's do something." Professionals helped this. Yeah. But thanks so much for being here. And what I want to talk about is, you know, I look at you and I think it's really profound what you've done in your life. And we'll talk about your story in a second. But you have endured what would be most women's worst nightmare. And as opposed to letting it crush you, which it always, when I hear your story, it feels like it would have to crush me. Instead, what you've done is lifted people up and created a life where you are helping people find their success and helping people do better for themselves and come out of these horrible struggles that they've endured. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened to you in France?
Yes, I traveled overseas as a teenager, brought my best friend, and we were going to get out and see the world. I'm a cowgirl from Colorado originally, and my dream was just to get out.
Yeah.
And I was going to figure out some way to stay in the city once I got there. And two men approached as soon as we got to France, and one had a camera around his neck. "Hey, are you a model?" I can make you one. Just come with me and my friend. And I thought, that doesn't seem like the brightest idea, but I'm a smart girl. I'll figure it out. Well, it doesn't take a whole lot to figure out. They were not photographers. They were criminals. They drugged me. They held me in an abandoned construction site, and it's two men. You can fill in the gory details yourself with your mind. But eventually, they left me for dead. Why they left me alive, I have no idea. I still try to figure it out to this day, but I figured, okay, here's the situation. This has now happened. I don't know how to cope with anything like this. Nothing prepares us, and all we learn, we don't really learn how to deal with adversity or challenge. I'd never learned anything like that. And so it was incumbent upon me to figure out a way. I'm either going to go down and I'm going to follow a trajectory downhill, or I got to figure out some way out. And I realized I had to end the hell that it was sort of between my ears, or I was going to have to end it all.
But what's amazing is that not only did you end the hell, right, but you also really paid it forward by helping other people end their hell. And right now, I know that you coach a lot of people. You do a lot of one-on-one work, and you worked with a lot of survivors. And I wonder, is what you've experienced unique in the fact that when you're kind of hanging on by the grips of life, if you get through it, you want to do something that has a purpose. You want to make a difference. I look at you and I think, oh my God, she's made a difference for so many people by sharing her story. Do you see that similar kind of trait in other survivors that you work with?
I do. I think regardless of if we're a survivor, and I think, make no mistake, we've all survived things. We all face circumstances.
Girl, I have survived nothing
right?
like you have survived. Most people haven't,
There
thank
is
God.
a scale, right? There is you could look at trauma or challenge or adversity on a scale. There are people who face things we could never imagine. I'm just somewhere on that scale. But I think that when we face circumstances that we wouldn't have chosen for ourselves, and we all face those, that it's almost as if some part of ourselves splinters off, and we, to ourselves, don't experience being whole any longer. It's like that experience, like something's missing, this can't be all there is. Why do I feel like things aren't right anymore? And what we do is we take about so often, we take the idea that, well, I just need to go back to like it was, like as if we can unring a bell or make bad things unhappen. Mm-hmm. But rather, there's this opportunity that's there for each of us to let the adversity accelerate us forward on our path. And the ways that we each process adversity, I think, are the same no matter where we are on that sliding scale, but the method to recover is the same. It's one of the things I found out. And I started working with individuals at first, and then larger groups, seminars and workshops. And my experience is that when I contribute the things that I've learned and then designed ultimately over the years, it makes it all right, what I've gone through, because it's now for something.
It is.
And it's not just something I experienced and, oh, isn't that cruddy, but it has a purpose. And I think each of us, that's all we long for, is to make some contribution, is to have our being here make a difference. And it enabled me to do that, whereas, as a cowgirl in Rye, Colorado, I wanted to connect with people and know them and help them in some way, but didn't really have access to it.
Do you think, I know you've worked with war vets and Holocaust survivors, and that's something, and people, like you said, on a very different spectrum, but when you're working with people like that, have you been able to find a key or a secret to success that helps that person, as you said, make the decision, I'm either going to end it or figure a way out of it? Have you seen something that is kind of the linchpin in your research and the actual work that you do with people that says this is the difference, this is how you're going to make it out?
Initially I thought, okay, people have been down this road before. I'm not the only one who faced something difficult. I started reading some books, but I could see that, okay, while I can read it, I want to hear it firsthand from people. And so I started interviewing people initially. And then later on, I started taking them through my methodology. But I was interviewing people to see, why is it that one person who went through something. You know, as a teenager, I was volunteering at old age homes, and a lot of people were still Holocaust survivors. They were still alive at the time. And it was, why did one of them fare well and their bunkmate have a horrible life? And what's more predictable is that you'd have a horrible life after facing something like that. And what I found was, you could easily reduce it to something like mindset, but how is that actionable? And what I could see is they had a powerful context, like a frame of reference inside of which their entire life sat, like a frame for their life, where they are now and the experience they had, and it all had some purpose. Not that there's an implicit, inherent purpose in life, but it meant something to them. So going back to what I'd said a moment ago, for me, it makes it all worthwhile that I can give it away. And for each of them, what I could see is they had some purpose that they said was a mighty one.
I think back to where you were in your teens, and like, did you ever think that you'd be sitting here saying, it happened for a reason, and now I can give it away, and now I can help other people? I mean, I would assume it was a long road, and I'm so grateful, because I've heard your story a couple times in different shows, and every time it's like a dagger in my heart, because you are this beautiful person inside and out, and seeing what you've built for yourself and for other people, I think is such an inspiration. You know that you've helped people one-on-one. I know that you've helped people that are just watching on TV, because I've seen it, and I see their responses on Facebook and Twitter, and I know that you are inspiring people that have gone through a lot of drama and trauma and have horrific pasts to move beyond it too. So I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, Cheryl. I think that what you're doing is so important. I think that you've been a game changer in the lives of many, many people, and I just want to say thank you for what you have done.
Thank you. It really is my honor. It's my whole mission in life. Well, thank you.
And thanks for being on the show. Thanks for making the time. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Everyday Game Changers. Oh my God, give me a hug.
This is amazing.
Oh my God.
So great. I'm so honored to be involved. Thank you.
Some story, huh?
It's,
Yes.
yeah. I remember when the first time I heard it on Drew, I just wanted to get up and like bear hug you. And even after all these years.
I'm business partner with Dina Manzo, who's a Real Housewife of New Jersey. She went through the same thing, home invasion sort of thing. Maybe
Oh my God, Andy, no,
not
it's
as scary, but I mean, equally as scary, but not in a foreign country. But she was held at gunpoint, and everything else, and blah blah blah.
Wow.
And probably didn't half the stuff didn't happen. Years lasted days, or lasted how long?
Yeah, 3 days.
Right, hers lasted a matter of hours, but that knocked her out forever. I mean, not forever, for the last 8 months she's been. So how long were you out of commission for?
Well, I didn't tell anybody for a decade. I mean, literally nobody. I even went to therapy, and I was like, so, hypothetically asking for a friend kind of thing.
Oh my God.
It's like just a little
The fact that you made it 10 years without talking about it, really, and that you were able to keep yourself going while you carried it.
I was talking to my mom, to whom I'm very close, and just said, I just feel depressed. I'm depressed. And she goes, you mean like bored? What do you mean? I was like, no, like friggin' bona fide depressed. She goes, well, not knowing what happened, she goes, well, why don't you go find somebody who's got it worse than you and see if you can help? And she's like, oh, I wouldn't say anything so crass, now she says. But that's what I gleaned from what she said, and that's why I started volunteering with old people, because I
know,
thought,
the people, you have a good relatable experience now. You can help other people just by
Can we do a quick picture real fast, and then I'm gonna. Can you do a quick shot?
I
The
can
two
do
of
a
us.
quick
Thank
shot.
you. And I'm gonna change my clothes. And you can run off and have a lovely evening with your husband.
with hair and makeup for change.
Yes.
I take a lot, by the way.
Thank
Just
you.
like-
One of them's gonna work. Yeah.
Fabulous.
And I hope I see you in the studio soon. Keep in touch, okay?
Thank you. Will do.
And I'll
Thank
let you know
so
when
much.
it's up and we're blasting it
Wonderful.
out.
Good.
Okay.
Bye. It was so nice meeting you.
Wonderful to meet
Thank
you.
you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Erin, how are we doing on time? Are you okay?
You're amazing. I'm Erin. I'm Erin. Nice to meet you. I even on the scales, like I went through this with last
Start
year.
sending some stuff back out.
I've never heard somebody say it like that, you know? They'll be like, Liz, you feel like that again?
Yeah.
And you're always like, maybe it won't. I don't feel like that. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you. You too.
Nothing good learning this morning.
Thank you.
YouTube got it.
Oh. A little bit, yeah. Okay, flat shoes, let's see.
Where are you guys heading?
Just a couple more errands today. And then, yes, Annalise is right, we should go out.
Yeah, you been there?
Steve, you gotta take her out tonight. Look at her. She's all dolled up.
Madre. You been there?
I've only been to,
Gracias Madre.
I've only been
It's
to
really
Cafe
close.
Gratitude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's really good. It's
Funny.
vegan Mexican. That sounds like but it's really good.
No, it
Like,
sounds
it's really
That's a
good.
cowgirl, right? That's a cowgirl from Colorado.
Yeah.
That's why you're doing vegan.
Promise you, it's fun though.
Oh,
Do you
great.
think, what do you think about me like pulling my hair out? Do you have thoughts on that? And go out with
I was thinking half of my
Half thoughts?
Yeah.
Do you have like 5 minutes to pull my hair up? Okay. What's up with Victor? Is he just circling?
He's certainly.
Do you want to bring him in? I want to meet
No,
both.
it's gonna be.
Is it too much?
Yeah, I feel like it would be like. Well, and then
Bye.
Bye.
So nice meeting you. Take care.
We had a parent teacher conference yesterday, and he like literally moved to me, was like on my pants. I'm like, not gonna bring it today. That's still the deal.
What is that now? It's out.
It's true, it's out.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Give me a picture. Let me see that little man.
Gus Leonard is so easy. He's like the nicest, easiest of our kids. He's a little low. And this guy's clothes don't
I can never see anybody in babies. Do you see yourself or Victor?
I think of the three, he's got more of like my family line in general. Like he's more fair, he's got a little like waspy nose. Whereas I think the other two, they look more, especially Arabella is so, like Victor's got Mexican and Italian. She's got that great like olive skin and dark eyes.
Yeah.
And her hair is like honey colored. He looks more like our kind of like boring waspy mix on our side, you know. But I always, growing up, I always wanted to have dark hair and dark eyes. It basically looked like Arabella. I'm like, she looks nothing like me, but it's like a little girl. Would you show me that? Do you want to send me the photo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, give me a hug.
Here, draw me all the pictures and here's a bunch of online stuff and I'll send it all over to you.
Okay, fantastic, thank you.
You'll get it on my train ride home tonight.
Okay, great.
Okay? Do you take the train?
Train.
I do. You and I live in San Diego, don't you?
Whoa,
I go back and forth to San Diego every week. At San Diego every week.
Or no?
Andy would never move. So when we had that, I was teed up to do that talk show, that supposedly gay talk show that ended up dying at the last minute, which is super sad. But it was, I was gonna film 2 days a week. And Andy's like, you gotta get a condo. Like, I'm not moving out there. So that would have been fine, but yeah.
Everybody wants to hear all the time.
This is not like walking. This is not like walking. We gotta talk about like this.
Let me know when you're in town. Come hang out. We are in Point Loma, and I can give you like a tour. It's a peninsula that juts out, and that's
At the north part.
so it goes downtown,
Okay.
and then like a couple of like Little Italy for nice downtown, and then
About like
Point Loma
downtown.
juts out. So like we look out at downtown,
Oh, my God.
and then it goes like OB, Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, Del Mar, La Jolla.
And
That's
those
all
goes north,
That's all
okay, got it,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
So we're like, I work, my building's downtown, and so I work like 10 minutes from home, it's a 10-minute drive.
This is not like walking.
Yeah,
It's
that's the best part.
So you make it work, okay.
I'm gonna drop
Yeah,
out.
I know.
I'm gonna get the photos right now.
Oh,
Thank you.
I use all over it.
Yes, sorry, I was like, I said, I started going, but I said, like, hey, that doesn't make any sense. I was like,
My husband was there too.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys ever read that?
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't, I think we moved, it'll be closer to family.
Oh, that's right, you were saying
Yeah.
that.
They're just, my family's so helpful and wonderful, and thank you, pictures as well, and then we're like, okay. I really like Yeah, coming in hot. Yes. I mean, he'd tell you that too. That's why I don't feel bad saying it. Yay!
Just said something different.
Thank you.
You just spoke up all of them?
Yeah, you don't mind if I post anything?
No,
do you?
go right ahead.
You want me to give specific hashtags and
We'll
things like that?
post the actual thing in a bit, because it's gotta go
Okay.
through like editing and that whole
Great.
thing. But you can post as much as you want today, but it won't be up today.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want. I say we pretty early, I want you to candid.
Social media.
Yeah.
I have an intern who comes to a social media and is so freaking bad at it. She's like, every day, take a photo of something.
I know, I have such a love hate. It's kind of amazing. Because
You're good at it.
really talk to, well, it's like you think about, you have your audience.
Oh my God, give me a hug.
This is a
Questions, like, we don't think everybody would do that.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, but it takes over your life. I'm like, I wanna live my life, not document it.
Also, I'm really not a competitive person. I'm not, like, I'm never jealous of other people. I'm really happy with the life that I lead. I'm not a competitive person. And, social media makes me.
He doesn't
I
follow.
know.
Like, I don't like how I am on social media.
Wait,
It makes me
you
like
never
everybody.
should unfollow everybody that makes you feel like you have to be something other than yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you mean like 90%? Well, you know, everything's like living by purpose.
And I tell myself, like, it's not like, you know, like.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Under
But
Vacation.
it's weird to see like that moment of perfection. But I don't like it. I know.
But that's what it is, like marketing your life.
Real though.
Yeah.
Somebody was, that I follow was doing a feature on the home that was being created at the beach, 15,000 square feet. I was like, oh my God.
I know.
Why all day? Like, what was it? Oh, watching the home with 15,000 square feet.
Right, like you figured out what it was.
Yeah,
That's what got
that
me.
was, yeah, unpack that, like, so really good. What'd you say?
So that's what got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. There's a girl that lives in Orange County who has this like perfect life on there, and it's like I unfollowed her 3 times. I'm like,
Oh
really
my
cute.
God, I
I
love
gotta
it.
see it. So funny.
That is great.
We're gonna buy you up tonight.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Good to see you. I love it. Point Loma.
Point Loma, as soon as you come down, we're gonna give me a little heads up and we'll make it happen, okay?
Yeah.
Team San Diego, you can do it. I'm back, once a week I'm back here. Okay. Is it good? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's some.
Okay. Okay, where did I put my little piece of paper?
Here's right here.
It's like a
Cards.
little cue card.
Right here's 2 cards.
Should I leave it on you? Oh, is this, there we go, that's Erin.
Where do you want me?
You'll be
Right
right
there.
there and I'll be on the other side of the pillow.
Okay, you
So
go.
I'm sneaking first. Look at this, I matched the flowers.
Yes, you do. Very nice.
Very complimentary.
Want to do it here?
I want to do it.
Come by him. I love that. Just keep it on that social media. I still have the ring. People like unfollow.
Yeah,
I can't handle
right.
it.
Seriously. Yours is gorgeous too. Perfect.
So is Drew on this latest edition?
He is
Oh,
for one more week, and then it will flip.
it's pretty cool.
You do match the flowers so well. That's so
You can just drop this in under here.
good. Oak.
You can tuck the wire in under there.
Okay.
This over here. We're gonna put you back up. See if we need the tape again.
What should I do with this one that wants to be in my face? You're gonna fix this. I know. I'm trying to have a mind. It is. I love Oribe everything. Me Doesn't that smell awesome?
All right, I'm gonna stand up again.
Oh,
Okay.
love it.
And there's room in this
I
one. if you
know.
need to
It's
drop
like
it.
better than any perfume.
Because the other one was just a little aggressively tight.
Oh, really?
You can just spray. It's like a.
Oh,
you can
really?
spray on yourself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, in the first two.
I love it so much. It makes my life really happy.
I know. I heard it was inspired by the way J-Lo smells.
Really interesting.
Just what, like J-Lo naturally smells like that?
Her natural
What other
essence
like God-given
is
gifts does she have?
inspired by
Come
her
on.
armpits.
Why is he giving them to everybody? Why is he giving them all to one person?
Seriously.
You can dance, you can sing, you can act, and you get to smell like
You look to look like you're
roses.
20 your whole life.
Can you face me at all?
Of course. You're like, can you make this a little easier?
I thought I could do it.
Sorry.
Is that okay?
I'll hear it.
Okay.
Just hear it. All right. Talk a little bit.
Okay. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. Do you pronounce it totem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
It means total in Latin.
Oh, of course it does, smarty pants. Jeez.
Okay, does this need to be on my lap or no? This can be
Behind you.
behind me. Okay.
All right.
Is that okay?
Behind you. Whatever's out of the camera will be great. All right. So here's one shot
Okay,
here.
you're such a badass in your leather coat.
I'll have to cheat a little bit over because you seem to float back that way. So cheat over a little bit and then maybe probably float back
I'm
that
gonna
way.
go this
A little
way,
bit the other way.
this way, and then I'm gonna float over.
You tend to float.
I do. I'm a moving target.
So I'm looking at you the whole time, right?
Yes. so
Yeah.
that's the whole time.
I feel like I'm aggressively close to you right now.
No, we do feel close, don't we? Should I scoot this way?
No, you're in the frame now.
Just want to make sure it stays out of your face when you move.
Okay.
And I'm just going to get the little flyaways here. A little bit more.
I love the eyelashes.
I used to do Latisse. I still am on Latisse, but I feel like it doesn't work anymore.
Oh,
So now we gotta amp it
topped out.
What's that?
For Vitalash.
Revitalash?
Oh.
Have you done both?
Yeah.
And Revitalash? Latisse always worked for me. I swear they like changed their formula.
Eyelashes right now.
Shut up.
Mine are real, yeah.
Oh, really? Revitalash.
Is that a prescription?
Like
Nah.
Latisse.
You could just buy it
You can buy it like at a what?
online.
Revitalash.
Revitalash on it today.
All right, that's happening.
Revitalash.
I used to be like a poster child for Latisse, and I swear they did something
There's
different.
too many side effects.
I didn't have any of the side effects.
Neither did I, but
Yeah. Price we pay.
Revitalash.
people with blue eyes like had brown eyes from it.
What?
You're out.
Oh, I'm like,
It
bae.
gets in your eye because what it's doing is it's making your eyelashes darker and
Oh.
longer. So a lot of people,
Like their melanin would increase?
yeah,
Weird.
Let me repin this.
or make their eyelids darker. Like if you put it on wrong,
Hey.
you're only supposed to put it on the lash line. People,
Listen, I am exhausted when I'm putting that on. It's nighttime. Like I've got 2
Yeah,
seconds
it's
before I'm
like-
falling asleep. I'm like blah blah.
extensions,
Yeah.
I hate the lash extensions.
Yeah.
They feel funny. The ones that the permanent ones.
I don't like the look. I don't like falsies because I feel like you can totally tell when someone's wearing falsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell that I'm wearing them, but I don't care.
Not on camera.
I'm gonna
though.
roll with it.
On camera, you can't.
There's no shame here.
You look good,
I
girl.
like the individual ones, or you know what I like? I like the half ones.
Oh,
Put them on
Just at the end? Yeah, that's really pretty.
give that little wingtip.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Get that little static hit again.
Okay.
Hit her with a little one more burst.
Static hit.
Same side.
Same side. And she
My
floated
hair
again.
is bonkers.
So you floated again.
I already. Is it
You
this way?
floated, right? Well, I'm just saying. Somehow you had
I feel like I'm like sitting on Aaron's lap. That's why I'm
We
floating.
do. We are close.
It's an intimate conversation.
It
There you
is.
go. Which normally I'd be like lying down here, like,
I
what's
know.
up?
It feels like it's such a loungy couch.
It is.
It is too loungy.
I would never sit like this on a couch like this.
That's what I
would-
mean.
Yeah.
Like if we were really hanging out and talking,
Oh my God. Yeah.
I would have my legs up and lean, be hanging out.
You do that,
But you know,
Okay. Is that good?
Almost. Just right here.
It feels hot, doesn't it?
it's so hot. I know.
So maybe it's the lights. Yeah.
Look at the fat Jews just posted this. Come here.
Huh?
that okay?
This famous comedian posted this meme that says, "You are not attractive enough to be rude. Calm down, ugly." I don't know why.
My husband adores the Fat Jewish.
He was supposed to come in on the show.
He's going to be coming on the show. Makes this wine in his pants.
Oh, yeah.
Rosé, the
White
rosé
girl
thing?
rosé.
White girl rosé.
Abe Rosé.
Abe Rosé.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
float
ready?
it then. So, one more, that's fine, stay there. All right, here we go. We're gonna roll here, stand by, and roll over here. And, see, on camera, you're not gonna see right together.
Ready?
Headspace, 1 more inch of headspace.
1 more inch, but that's it.
1 more inch of headspace. There's your inch. All right, let her rip.
Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are joined by my very, very, very good friend, Erin Ehrenberg. Erin, thanks so much for being here.
All right, so we're leaking into her shot a little bit. So
Oh, should I back up like this?
back, remember the lounging part? You want the lounge? Here's your chance.
This way, right? Is this what you might? This, there we go.
Back.
Okay.
Now, but over now. Now you've waved, she overcompensated.
There we go.
All right? Okay. So go ahead, so sit back again. You can sit back. And then, yeah. Get in there.
I'm about to see my spanks.
Get in there. Going that low. All right. Don't lean into her shot. So you see when you lean in, by the way?
Yeah, I forgot about that lean.
And then you
I'm out of it
see
now.
See the bottom right?
Yeah, I got it.
right.
I'll get out of her business.
No,
I
you're
see
good
it.
there. You see yourself lean in, but you both lean in. So when you lean in, you sort of see, look at the bottom right
Yeah.
screen in the front there.
Okay.
Go ahead, lean in a little bit.
Me?
No,
Or
there. So I just want
Yeah,
to see where the
then
line
I'm
is.
in.
Okay.
Okay, so the line's right
Hang
there.
there.
So
lean
no,
back. Yep.
none of that. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, we're still rolling over here, and let me just set that camera one more time. Now that you're leaning back, I can go somewhere. Go for it.
Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are joined by my very good friend, Erin Ehrenberg. Erin, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Annalise. I'm happy to be here.
So Erin and I went to law school together, and so we've been friends for many moons now. Unlike most people that probably from our graduating class, myself included, you have found a way to take your career and your life, frankly, and turn it into opportunities to give back, opportunities to make the world a better place. And I applaud you for that. I'm a little bit jealous of it, but but only like 2% jealous. I'm very, very excited for what you've done. And so I'm happy that you're here and you get to talk to us about it, because it's a unique path. And it's an exciting one. And I think it's always great to hear things that are a little bit out of the box, and especially when there's ways to help other people. So I want to start with, you're living in the Midwest, and you get a phone call from the Academy of Country Music, and they ask you about heading up, being the executive director of Lifting Lives, which is their foundation. What about that opportunity made you want to pull the ripcord and move across the country?
Yeah, so really it was the chance to build the foundation. And they, at the time, were not even called Lifting Lives. It was the Academy of Country Music Charitable Fund, which was a mouthful, and they didn't have any. Kind of boring. Yeah. Nobody wants to say it. Hard to get artist partners when you don't really have that brand identity. So they wanted their first executive director. They had established themselves as a nonprofit, but they didn't have a director. And at the time, I was actually practicing law. I had moved from the Midwest to New York City and was practicing law on really kind of an ad hoc basis. And my boss, where I was working, suggested me for the job. And I loved the idea that I really got to build it from the ground up. It could be whatever I envisioned. And because I was happy, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to go in, talk to the board, pitch the way that I would handle this. And if they're not into that, I'm good. Like, I like what I'm doing. But I really said, we need to start with the brand. We need to know what we're about. So we need to be really clear on what the purpose is and who we want to help. And I loved that idea. I loved connecting the things that intellectually I connected to in law school, like contracts and partnerships and all of that, with really helping people.
And what did you, so you got to build it, right? You got to really build it. And so you were a part of the mission. And so you got to intervene on who whose lives
Yep.
are we going to lift, essentially?
100%. Yeah.
And so is there a project in particular that you look at and you have a lot of pride? And I know that you have lifted the lives of literally hundreds, if not thousands of people all over this country. But is something that you look at and you're like, that, I did that, and I'm so proud of the way I did there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking, because it actually is the proudest professional moment still that I've ever had. We established a music camp in Nashville for people with a very specific intellectual disability called Williams syndrome. And people that are affected by Williams syndrome actually have almost a savant for music. And they really, though, can be in the shadows in terms of socially and developmentally. And we actually put together a music camp where we had Brett James, who's written pretty much every country music song you've ever heard of. He wrote a song with the Campers. Carrie Underwood came into the studio and laid down a track with them. And then I got them actually to perform on our award show. So it was 30 people with an intellectual disability, but they were celebrities. I mean, they sang with Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish.
God.
And he sang their song from camp. Darius sang a song that they had written, and they were there and performed. And I still
Wait, they
get
got
chills.
to perform?
They performed
at the
yeah.
ACM
at the
Music
ACM
Awards?
Music Awards. Yep, on CBS. There were 40 million viewers that night. So I stood at the back of the house and watched it, and I just cried happy tears. Other than having one of our children, I haven't cried happy tears like that ever before or since. It was amazing.
And I'm sure that moment is a defining moment in each one of their lives too, and the rest of the campers that have probably come since then.
Yeah, absolutely, and for their parents, you can imagine, as a
oh my
parent
God,
yourself,
what a good,
the parents all got to come, they got to attend, they had amazing seats, they were treated as VIPs, and seeing their children really be treated as completely special in a great way just meant so much to them. And the campers have repeated, they've gone back year after year to the camp, and it's been really special. And I'm still in touch with many of them. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely the best.
And what an opportunity too. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it to kind of change your life, move to California,
100%.
take this job, build it, and look what you got to build. Oh my God, that's great.
It was really awesome.
And I know that you created Lifting Lives, and then I think you were on the board for a little bit, and then you went over to Omaze, which is similarly, I think you're tying charities with celebrities, right?
That's right.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Omaze is an online platform that puts together once-in-a-lifetime experiences with celebrities and works like a charity auction online. So you have everybody from Robert Downey Jr. raising $2 million to start his own fund and own foundation. You also have celebrities that care about tiny foundations and things that are just really close to their hearts, and they can, through these campaigns, provide the entire operating budget for a year for a foundation. So
the statistics say that if you have a celebrity behind your business or behind your nonprofit, it can change the total trajectory of what will happen for that organization. What do you think, in your experience, is what brings a celebrity on board for a cause? What attracts them? What are they looking for?
I think in the best cases, it starts with what that person cares about. Really seeing that celebrity, influencer, whatever, acknowledging whoever is helping them really figure out what foundation work or cause work they want to do, if they can really acknowledge who that person is. What do you actually care about? Whether it's something that you've gone through in your life or something that just you connect to your purpose, because when it really comes from their heart and their intention and their purpose, then they're very engaged. Versus if, their agent or some kind of branding agency says, oh, you should be about this thing over here. It's nice that they can make an impact.
We still win. Yeah,
exactly.
It's still helping people.
Everybody still wins,
yeah.
And but you find that they do a little bit less because it doesn't necessarily come from their essence. So it's great when you see a connection, a nexus between a cause and the essence of that person.
Can you give an example of one that you saw at Omaze with a celebrity and a cause and how it worked?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one that leaps to mind is really going back to Lifting Lives times with Carrie Underwood. She established a foundation the acronym is CATS. It's Shakota Animals in Towns and Shakota Animal Town and Schools. So Shakota is her hometown. She wanted to give back to where she was from. She cares a lot about animals. She wanted to help the town and she wanted to help the school. And so it's just all about...
motley crew of things, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I want to help it all.
I want to help it all in her hometown. So it's really really what she's all about, and she's become uber famous, but she really cares about her roots, so that's great. Robert Downey Jr. has this, what he calls Random Acts Fund, and you know, that is really interesting because he wants it to be nimble enough to whenever he's moved, he can give money and awareness to whatever cause moves him at the time, because there's so many things that he cares about.
I think of him as such a class act.
Oh, he's wonderful.
That's a great thing to give it to, you know, because what I would love to see more of, what the show is about, is trying to normalize service, trying to normalize giving back, trying to normalize paying it forward, and so much of that can be on random acts of kindness.
Absolutely.
And so for him to kind of take that and elevate that, that's fantastic.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And going full circle, because we have a few more minutes, I know that you just recently started your own business,
I did.
Totem, and what I love about this is you have helped special needs individuals, you've helped the entire country with what you're doing at Omaze. So think of everything that's, you know, all the good that came out of that position.
Right.
And now you're focusing in on helping the mamas, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about Totem?
I can. So this is born of something that I went through when I've had our first child 5 years ago. I went back to work and I found that I sort of had an identity crisis. And there's a ton on the market for pregnant women, and there's a lot on the market for babies. But there's not a lot for the woman as she enters motherhood. And you don't go from being this woman who cared about a multitude of things, whether that be your education, your marriage, or your relationship, your friends, to suddenly you're just mommy. You're so many things. And so I wanted to create a brand that really honors the woman as she enters motherhood, everything that looks like. And so our first product is actually a lactation cookie that I designed with my uncle, who used to be COO of Mrs. Fields, and it tastes really great. So it's really like gives you a moment to kind of enjoy yourself and fill yourself up when you're so used to giving to everybody else, but also increases your milk supply. But we have...
It's a win-win!
It's a win-win, and there's an online presence, so we're actually crowdsourcing some of our other product ideas from hearing from women and what they're going through.
Well, I got an 8-month-old at home.
Let's chat.
Crowdsource me.
Yeah,
I think about the last time we got together, and I was hiding my pregnancy, and I think I was 6 months.
Very well, by the way.
No, not at all.
Yes, you were.
And you were like, I don't know, maybe I should have another kid. I'm thinking about 3. And a blink an eye later, I've got my little 8-month-old nugget at home, and you've got an 8-week-old.
No, it's crazy.
It's crazy how quickly
from that time.
I know,
Yeah.
and you've built a business around it too. So, what if I know anything about you, Erin? It's that when you set your mind to something, you can do amazing things, and you have a great impact. You saw it at Lifting Lives. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with Totem. This conversation really is the tip of the iceberg with you and the people that you touch and the impact that you have. And so thanks so much for everything you do. Thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks for being my friend.
Aw, thank you, Annalise. Thanks for having me.
And I can't wait to see what else you're gonna do.
Thank you, you too.
And thank you for joining us on Everyday Game Changers. I'm your host,